Hi there, welcome to Tarotland Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Leo energy, and like usual, we're going to do 2 rows. I'll turn down the camera in a minute so you can see the cards. But in the top row, we're going to have high vibe Leo energy, what we could feel like doing when we have hope and faith and belief in our dreams. But the bottom rows are more worldly, shadowy nature, and we can kind of want to stay in our comfort zone, and we can get caught up in our fears and our insecurities and our ego. And so some people could be battling within themselves. It's hard to make a decision in a way to live your life differently, be more authentically yourself, have hope and faith and belief in your dreams, because some other people in your life maybe aren't on the same page as that, and some of them maybe won't like it, or they won't move forward with you that way. And so we can struggle within ourselves about changing our life and living our life differently. But there's going to be some people in the world, they've come into some type of insight or understanding or healing or hope, and they're going to live their life differently. And then there's definitely going to be some people that aren't on the same page as that. We all kind of heal and grow up and mature and ready to move forward at different times in our life. And some people are moving forward regardless of who moves forward with them or not, listening to love and intuition to guide them. And, some other people might repeat an old pattern, because we keep repeating old patterns of ways of living our life until we are ready, if we ever become ready to move forward in life differently. People got to deal with the truth, because the truth is what sets us free. And some people don't want to deal with the truth, don't want to see the truth. They might need to heal or grow up or mature themselves, get out of their defensive nature, their ego, their fear, whatever it is, and they might not want to do that. Okay, so let's go look at the reason for the readings. The reason for the reading for the top row is the 9 of Wands, Sagittarius energy. The way people have been living their life has made them feel wounded, like they have to stand up and defend themselves. If we're in relationships where people are supposed to be loving and supportive and encouraging, even if it's a job, why should I have to feel like I constantly have to defend myself from you? Why would I want to stay in an environment like that? And you could have been dealing with someone, high vibe Sagittarius is, when people harness high vibe Sagittarius, we all tap into the zodiac sign traits and characteristics in a high vibe or a more worldly or shadowy way. High vibe people are motivated and inspired to keep wanting to shed themselves of whatever baggage. I don't want to carry around the same fears and insecurities I've carried around for the last 5 years. I want to stand up for myself and love myself and believe in myself and defend my dreams. And if I keep being manipulated by those things or other people in my life, my dreams aren't going to come into reality. And so they're inspired to wrap their brain around this game of life, because high vibe Sagittarius is about higher learning and education. And you could have dealt with some people in the world who harness more worldly or shadowy Sagittarius energy, regardless of what zodiac sun sign they are. And maybe they're defensive to that. They don't want to see the truth. Defensive to the truth. Maybe are defensive, like to live more from their ego and be defensive to being hurt, so they don't really want to do love. Or maybe they're defensive so they don't really want to do equal give and take. Shadowy Sagittarius can be people who are kind of immature and got some lessons to learn about how to play nicely with others. And some people just have some lessons to learn. So some high vibe people could have moved away from some people in their life who are defensive to being independent, emotionally growing and maturing themselves. Part of moving forward in life is that we have to love ourselves, and the queens can talk about how we think and feel. In high vibe, the Queen of Pentacles is, I love myself. I've learned how to love myself, to free myself from the things that manipulate me, because the 9 of Pentacles talks about being independent of my fear, my insecurity, and my ego in the world. I know my worth and value. I don't like to feel manipulated by the world or my ego or my fear. I've learned how to love myself, to free myself from the things that manipulate me. And that sometimes can make other people defensive because they're still wounded. They haven't learned to love themselves. They haven't learned to treat themselves with love and compassion and forgiveness for the mistakes they've made and the mistakes other people in their life have made, to just see the truth that we're all human beings. We all make mistakes. Life's about learning the lessons, healing, growing, maturing ourselves, to not give up on our dreams. But some people a long time ago gave up on their dreams. The reason for the bottom rose reading is the Seven of Cups, which can be, people are still caught up in the illusion of their fear, of their insecurity, of the world, of their defensive nature. Sure that that's what will make them happy. Some people don't want to become independent of the world. They make their life about their ego and their image and how they think other people view them. And that's where they derive their sense of worth and value from. So the whole world manipulates them. Other people have other people in their life who kind of manipulate and control them. Their own fears and insecurities emotionally confuse them and manipulate them. Some of them are immature players, and they're sure that that's what's going to make them happy. You know, we all do what we think is going to make us happy. It's just that some high vibe people have learned the Nine of Wands talks about having good discipline within yourself. If I want my dreams to come into reality, I can't keep taking action in my more immature nature. I just end up wounded because high vibe energy represented by God, shadowy energy kind of represented by the devil. If we take action in truth and love and justice and fairness, odds are better things might turn out the way we want. Otherwise, we get off track and we're taking action out of emotional confusion, illusion, not wanting to see the truth that we're meant to love ourselves, forgive ourselves, grow, heal, mature ourselves. And we go indulge in these things of the world that we think will make us happy. And we haven't learned that the answer lies within us. So shadowy energy can just be more codependent energy. I'm looking outside of myself for the answer. I want to feel better, but I don't realize it starts with me. Oh, it's not finding other people to love me and make me feel better. I'm supposed to love me. So that way I'm not easily manipulated by other people and still caught up in the illusion of the world. The things of the world are meant to be enjoyed, but from a place of love. Otherwise, we give those things of the world too much power. Oh, that's going to make me happy. I'm going to go indulge this. I'm going to eat that. I'm going to, drug, sex, rock and roll, gambling, relationships. You're the answer to my problems. That's going to make me feel better. And then we learn some really hard lessons that maybe we hadn't learned to love ourselves. And then there's some people who are defensive because they are all about the illusion. Don't we get in relationships to have the status or the image or the money or to be in a relationship so it looks like we're successful or victorious or blah, blah, blah? And we don't have to learn to love ourselves. We don't have to heal. We don't have to grow. We don't have to mature. And when other people see the truth and see through the illusion and learn to have good boundaries to their more worldly, shadowy nature, to stand up and defend truth and love, being independent, wanting to be in relationships and marriage partners and business partners and employees and bosses with other people who are emotionally independent from their ego nature. Because we've all got lessons to learn. We all have our worldly nature. We can all be immature and prideful and stubborn, and we want things the way we want it, and we could all get into blaming everyone else for our problems and being petty and envious and jealous. Well, life's about learning lessons. Getting out of that kind of energy to grow up. To learn how to work cooperatively with people. Authentically. Not just wearing a false mask, which is what the Seven of Cups can be. I'm going to try to confuse people about the truth of who I am. I'm going to try to present myself as a more stable, grounded, independent, emotionally mature person than I am. Other people are defensive to people who create an illusion. I want someone who is authentically who they say they are. If you're going to try to present yourself as a stable, grounded, emotionally mature, healed person who doesn't act out of defensiveness and immaturity and pride and ego, and it's got to be all about you, then that's who you really should be, what you really should be. But some people just try to create an illusion to get people to hire them, to get people to go in business with them, to become their friend, to get in a relationship with them. But we can present ourselves whatever way we want in the world, but what's the truth of who we really are? And some people learn some painful lessons dealing with some people. And some of the people you might have dealt with, you could harness your Scorpio energy differently. High vibe people and high vibe Scorpio want to explore the mysteries of life emotionally. We're emotionally complex human beings. We want to be in workplaces and relationships with people who are connected in with their intuition, who are motivated and inspired to move forward in life in this high vibe way, where people don't act in shadowy ways, where people put in work and effort to work cooperatively, and in romantic relationships where you have deep, meaningful relationships. And other people think it's all about being in shadowy energy. Can be that people are emotionally confused and they're maybe not listening to their intuition. And they have this illusion that maybe they can just manipulate people. I'll create this illusion of who I am, and then I can get people to be in a relationship with me. But they might harness their Scorpio energy different, where they're more emotionally shallow and superficial. And instead of letting love and intuition guide them, getting out of their fear and insecurity to listen to their intuition, kind of go with the flow, it's always trying to kind of manipulate and control people because they haven't dealt with their own emotional confusion about, why am I not who I really say I am? Why am I not independent of my ego and my fear and my insecurity? It takes work and effort. The Pentacles talk about you have to invest time and energy and effort. You have to learn to have good boundaries to yourself so you don't keep giving in to your more petty, immature, bossy, controlling, lazy nature. It takes work and effort to become independent, to stand up for yourself and be inspired. High vibe energy is about having a desire to grow to your full potential. I want to feel proud of myself that I have learned how to play nicely with others, that I am not just faking it, you know? I want to dump my baggage. I want to feel more stable and grounded within myself. And I am willing to do the work within myself to wrap my brain around this game of life. I don't want to keep being emotionally confused. I don't want to keep being kind of manipulated by other people or my ego or the world. So then we have two cards not showing themselves. Leading up to this, how do we become more independent? How do we learn how to love and believe in ourselves? How do we learn how to stand up for ourselves and the things that we want in the world? Well, we had to cut out aligning with these cards in a shadowy way. And when we quit aligning with kind of indulging in that way of being within ourselves, there's probably some other people we used to hang out with that we both could have indulged in that to a degree. And if I'm going to cut that out within me and no longer, that's not my truth anymore, then we're probably going to distance ourselves from some of those people in our life where we both harness that energy to some degree in a shadowy way. And as you are doing this work within yourself, there's other people in your life that are confused about how you're doing this. How do you seem more stable and grounded within yourself? How do you maintain such good boundaries within yourself? Because they maybe still keep giving in to kind of indulging themselves in their more immature or prideful or materialistic or ego nature. How do you seem so stable and grounded when you're not maybe doing some of those things that I'm doing? And it's because they don't understand that you're now harnessing these energies in a high vibe way. But some people in the world who might want to approach you or be in a relationship with you still aren't seeing the truth that you're not the same person you were before. Other people do see the truth, but, you know, we live in a world of duality. There's probably 50% who see the truth and 50% who don't see the truth. So, what did you cut out? The Two of Pentacles and the Four of Cups. You're no longer juggling taking that cup of love to love and believe in yourself. And before you maybe were, because I think the hardest lesson to learn in life is to learn to love yourself. It gets us out of our more codependent energy. Because one of our patterns that we repeat, we've all been children before, grown up in families, we have parents or caregivers that, you know, we're codependent on for maybe making us emotionally feel better, providing us stability and security in our life. But we're not children anymore. At what point in time are we going to take over that role within ourselves to be our own best mother, father, coach voice in our own head? When are we going to balance ourselves out to pick up our investment in that old way of living life where we were more codependent, to get more balanced within ourselves and say, I'm going to take that cup of love that God is offering everybody every day. You have free will. Do you want to love yourself and believe in yourself? Do you want to be a nice, positive, encouraging voice in your head? You have free will. Or you can belittle and berate yourself, and you can blame everyone else, and you can go indulge in whatever you want to indulge in. You got free will. It's just if you want your divine inheritance to get what you could have in life, if you didn't like belittle and berate yourself and think that all these things outside of you are the answer, and to see the truth that the answer lies within you. Love yourself, know your worth and value, appreciate what you bring to the table, have good boundaries within yourself to yourself, and have good boundaries with other people. If people want to be in a relationship with you, or to keep you as their employee, or to keep you working with them, they need to respect that you're an individual, not someone to be manipulated for someone else's plan. And they have to be an emotionally mature, nurturing person that has good boundaries within themselves to themselves, and then have good boundaries within the relationship. And protect the relationship from other people in the world who try to emotionally confuse them, their own shadow nature that tries to emotionally manipulate and confuse them, and from other people in their life that in turn try to emotionally manipulate and confuse them, or the world, trying to get them caught up in the world. This would be better. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't defend this relationship. You shouldn't be more independent. You shouldn't love yourself. You know, because we have this dualistic nature within us, and our shadow nature wants to be in the driver's seat of our life. Let's go live our life this way. It'll be a blast. You know, and our more loving nature wants us to love and believe in ourselves. That, you know, high vibe energy represented by God, the shadow nature represented by the devil. I've already learned some really hard lessons in life. I don't want to keep learning hard lessons, because when I didn't stand up for myself and I didn't know my worth and value and appreciate what I brought to the table, I got juggled. And I offered love to people who didn't know if they really wanted to invest in me or not. Ignored my love. Maybe wanted to offer me a cup of love, but yet they wanted to emotionally manipulate me. It's like, I want truth and justice and fairness and people treating me the way I treat them. And some people are like, oh, but I don't really want to do that. I don't really want to invest. Can't we just be in a relationship? Come on, I'll offer you a cup of love. Let me emotionally manipulate you. So they're harnessing shadowy Capricorn, shadowy Cancer, which Capricorn can represent our more worldly nature, and then Cancer is our more loving nature. And some people just keep going back and forth and they haven't really picked a path. And we have all been there. But eventually the high vibe people decided, I've picked a path. I choose hope and faith and belief in my dreams, which means I want just and fair, balanced, loving, nurturing, supportive relationships with people who will stand up and defend me. I'm going to maintain good boundaries within myself, and they need to maintain good boundaries within them. And if they're still juggling and can't decide if they want to choose love, well, then that's okay. You have the free will to live your life whatever way you want. But I have decided and I'm no longer juggling loving and believing in myself. So when you quit juggling, deciding how you want to live your life, it naturally kind of distanced you from some people in your life because you're no longer caught up in the illusion. Now you love and believe in yourself, and you're more independent from things that manipulate you. And they're still being manipulated by things they're manipulated by. And now you're harnessing these energies in a high vibe way. So let's see what's going on down the bottom row. We have 2 cards not showing themselves. And then we have the Chariot, the Star card, the King of Cups, and the Nine of Cups. Well, in our ego, we all got lessons to learn in the world. And we think, I want what I want, and this is what the world tells me would make me happy. And we move forward trying to bring a dream into reality. And sometimes loving people get in relationships with people who are more about indulging themselves in a relationship. And that's a lesson to learn, that not everybody is who they present themselves to be. Some people just create an illusion that they harness these energies in a high vibe way, but they don't. So they're not emotionally balanced. They're kind of in shadow. They're tipped out of balance more into either being about them or the world and status and image or being indulged. So they try to present themselves as someone who harnesses high vibe Cancer, high vibe Aquarius, high vibe Cancer, high vibe Pisces, high vibe Scorpio. Oh no, you should move forward with me. Your dreams will come into reality with me. We'll have the dream life like people want in the world. But then they kind of wear a false mask, because the masculines in tarot can represent anyone. It's just how we present ourselves in the world. And some people, whether they're male or female, because the masculines can kind of represent us operating more from our egoic nature than really how we think and feel. And this picture up here is 2 female figures, which talks about how we think and feel. The people who, and then this in their masculine energy of their worldly egoic nature, they've learned to stand up for themselves and defend their more emotionally mature, intuitive nature over their more egoic nature, because they've already lived their life like this. I thought for sure moving forward to bring this dream into reality the way I viewed life, and I could have been a loving person, but I was kind of indulging in the illusion. And I got caught up in the illusion. We can all get caught up in the world thinking, this is the answer. This is what everybody's supposed to want. This will make me happy. And some people, hadn't learned to love and believe in themselves yet, but they could have been a loving person, still have hope and faith and belief in love, just maybe a little more in codependent energy. And so then they could have gotten in relationships with some people who present themselves as harnessing these in a high vibe way. They also maybe haven't learned to love themselves, but they could be happy with living the life of illusion. And then we're kind of in a mismatched relationship. It's like, well, aren't we both going to do work in this relationship to love ourselves and believe in ourselves and heal from our fears and our insecurities and some of our self-limiting beliefs so that we can be more independent of the past, independent of our fears and insecurities, so that we can be more in an emotionally mature relationship that we're both willing to defend? And some people are like, well, you can do that, but I want to stay like this. I'm defensive to the Nine of Pentacles is Virgo energy, where you'd have to go within to look at some of the things you'd rather keep hidden in the dark. The truth sets us free to live our life differently, and some people don't want to see the truth. They might be more worldly focused, caught up and wanting to look like a shining star in the world, like to wear more of a false mask, isn't this good enough? If I present myself as loving to you, and when we go out in the world, I present myself as this loving family person, but it's, I'm maybe in shadowy Scorpio energy. I'm maybe a little more emotionally shallow and superficial because it is maybe more about the ego and the image and how we present ourselves and how people view ourselves. But I really don't want to become independent of the world. It's kind of where I derive my sense of worth and value. I like people to view me a certain way. I prefer to live my life like this. And then we have a problem. Because one person wants to keep making their life about all these things of the world, happy living their life that way. And the other people that could have been in a relationship with them just feel confused because it's like, why aren't we doing love? Why, if I did this work to not be manipulated by certain things in the world, why aren't you freeing yourself from certain things that manipulate you to be free of them? Why are you defensive to being maybe more authentic or more just and fair or vulnerable or kind of really walking the talk? And other people are like, because I'm fulfilled emotionally just living the life of illusion. I would have to invest time, energy, and effort to figure out why I'm defensive, and I don't even want to figure out why I'm defensive to living my life differently. I'm okay with this. And that's when other people see that in shadow, which some of you have dealt with, is kind of people who were kind of hiding that they might want to be in a relationship with someone who's emotionally nurturing and independent. I'm glad you're not manipulated by things. I'm glad you're not manipulated by your more bossy, controlling, petty, envious, jealous, bossy, controlling, lazy nature. I'm glad you're more emotionally mature. I like being in a relationship with you. But they were kind of hiding that they kind of juggle being that kind of person themselves. I like to present myself as being that type of person, but I kind of haven't really picked that path because I'd have to do some work to heal and grow and mature myself. So I'm okay just kind of presenting myself that way, but I still have my fears and my insecurities and my things and my past pain and heartbreak I haven't dealt with. Can't we just move forward like this? And eventually people say no, because when things come up in relationships that can be emotionally confusing, the high vibe people, their default is to kind of like maintain their balance, be nurturing, be supportive, have good boundaries within themselves. And the other people haven't kind of learned those lessons within themselves. So their default can be, well, I'm in my fear, I'm in my insecurity, I'm in my ego, I'm in my whatever shadowy nature. I know. I'm going to, if I'm not willing to be truthful and honest and just and fair, but I don't want people to know that I don't want to do that, or I have a lot of growing up and maturing to do, I'm going to do something to try to confuse people about the truth. And that's when they might decide to kind of act in this kind of more egotistical way. Because shadowy Aquarius can be, I'm the star of the show. I don't want to see the truth that I have growing or healing and maturing to do. And I think everyone else in the relationship should put aside their pride and ego, but I shouldn't have to. So some people, because of whatever they think they bring to the table, they, for some reason, might think people should indulge them, which is what the Nine of Cups can be talked about. I have the certain status or image in the world. The Chariot can be like, I look like I'm moving forward victoriously. I look like a shining star in the world. I could be attractive. I could have power, influence, social clout. I could have money, whatever they got. And then if they have presented themselves and present this image of themselves that they've maybe cultivated over the years, that they're this like loving family person, they think there's going to be people who want to be in a relationship with me. I'm okay living my life like that. If you don't want to be the one to indulge me, I'll just go find someone else. And that's what some people did. Some people already became independent of people like that and now have good boundaries to those people. You, from the 9 to the 7, let go of the 2 of Wands. I no longer see you as someone that my dreams can come into reality with. And I'm defending my authentic loving nature. I really do take action from a place of love. And I'm not going to stay in a relationship with someone who tries to present themselves as being harnessing the traits and characteristics I do, because yours is just an illusion. I really do take action from truth and love. I offer other people love and encouragement. I do believe I can manifest my dreams. I listen to my intuition and I've expanded my perception of what I believe is possible. And I'm enlightened to the truth that it's supposed to be about love. But you could have tried to get me in a relationship with you and just tried to create an illusion that you were enlightened to the truth. But really, it's just an illusion, because the magician in shadow is just somebody creating an illusion to confuse people about the truth that they really operate from pride and ego. I want you to move forward in a relationship with me. It would make it look like I've moved forward victoriously. You know, look at me. I'm in a relationship with this emotionally mature, nurturing, loving person. And they're kind of indulging me in a relationship. It's like, damn, this is awesome. And people can stay in those relationships or those workplaces and friendships for a long time because they're not seeing through the illusion that the other person really isn't who they say they are. And then when they realize from the 9 of Cups down to the 7 of Cups is the 2 of Cups, which can be, wait a minute, what are you aligned with within yourself? I thought the dream was to have this deep, meaningful relationship. I thought over time the relationship was going to grow and mature, and that we were both going to become more independent of our worldly nature, our egoic nature, the people in our life who might try to manipulate us. And I keep thinking the dream is going to come into reality, but it doesn't. And that's when I start to think, is this relationship, are we in this relationship because of love? Or were you more driven by your worldly nature? It works for you, it's good for your ego and your image, but it's not really love. It's kind of like indulging in a relationship, but it's not like authentic. Shadowy energy can be, like it's kind of fake and superficial, and that's what shadowy Scorpio is. It's kind of superficial and shallow. And it's like, but I wanted a deep, meaningful relationship. And so then the loving people try to encourage the people in their life to get in the driver's seat of their own life, believe in their dreams, become more emotionally independent from whoever and whatever tries to emotionally confuse them. Some of them are dealing with a Scorpio or people in their life, because we all have this dualistic nature, and we have some people in our life who love and encourage us to overcome our fears and insecurities, to become all we can be, to go love and believe in ourselves. They're not trying to manipulate and control us, but then we can have other people in our life who are trying to kind of manipulate and control us. They're living their life a certain way, and they want us to live their life that way too, because if we go be more bold and brave and confident and live the life of our dreams, well then it kind of makes them maybe think about the life they're living. Why am I not moving forward in life? Why am I not stepping out of my comfort zone and facing my fears? Because that's what we do in life. We go through these periods of life at different phases of life. And then do we believe we can go to the next level of life? Am I going to face my fears, work through my fears and insecurities, to know my worth and value, stand up for myself, and I'm ready to move to the next phase of life. I'm going to go from being an 18-year-old to a 21-year-old. I'm going to detach from some of my 18-year-old ways of being. I'm going to face my fears. I think I can do this. And we keep doing that throughout our life. But some people don't. Some people, it's like these people, oh, if I just get in a relationship, oh, then I'm good. Oh, if I just get married, oh, then I'm good. Oh, if I just get a job that pays whatever, just that I have a job, I'm good. And that's kind of like they lack that motivation of wanting to just challenge themselves or believe in themselves. And maybe some people didn't really have many dreams, And I think personally, it's just, I don't want to carry around the baggage I've carried around. I don't want the fear, the insecurity, or the self-limiting beliefs. I want to work through any past pain and heartbreak. I don't want to drag it around. But some other people, it's like, I don't want to deal with it. I might have all those things like everyone else in the world. I just choose to stay in denial of the truth that I should deal with it. And then because they don't deal with it, it affects the decisions that they make in a relationship because they haven't healed or they're still immature and they haven't grown up. Let's go look at the two cards that aren't showing themselves. The way I interpret this in the shadowy row is that they've probably had they reject harnessing these energies in a high vibe way within themselves. And then when they get in relationships with people, if other people harness these energies in a high vibe way, they reject them too. Because I don't align with that. That's not my truth. I have this dualistic nature. I didn't align with that. And if I get in relationships with people that do align with harnessing these energies in a high vibe way, I'm going to reject them too because that's not my truth. I live my life like this. This is my truth. And that's fine. Everybody can live their life the way they want. It's just if we find ourselves in one of those mismatched relationships, to see the truth of it, get out of our ego about it. Everybody has free will to live their life whatever way they want. There's just consequences for their actions. We reap what we sow. They might have some lessons to learn that will be painful. Some of you have already done that. You've already learned the painful lessons. And you're not interested in living your life like that anymore or repeating that pattern. And so they've probably had some high vibe people leave their life and they don't want the people that they might be trying to move forward with right now to know the truth that the people who left their life harness this energy in a high vibe way. And that's why they left. And then they don't want the people they're in relationships to know they harness these energies in a shadowy way. They try to hide it. The Empress energy and the Six of Pentacles. In high vibe, the Empress energy is about people, again, who, because the feminine figures can represent how we think and how we feel, they were very emotionally mature, abundant, stable, loving people. Very just, very fair, walk the talk. And those people in the Six of Pentacles wanted equal give and take in a relationship, where people kind of let their inner child out to play in the world. And the other people are like, nope, I don't do that. And I don't get balance within myself. The sixes can talk about getting balance within yourself. And they're like, no. I like to live my life, kind of tip more into my worldly egoic view or about me, indulging me, or the world and ego and money or whatever. That's the most important thing in my life. And so they harness these energies in a shadowy way, which in shadow, the Empress is about, I want all this indulgence, money, materialism, or I want to emotionally be indulged in whatever shadowy way I have of being. If I'm lazy, I want people to indulge me in my laziness. If I'm bossy, I want people to indulge me that way. And they're kind of more transactional, which is what the shadowy Six of Pentacles talks about. I'll be willing to exchange resources with you in time, energy, and effort, but it is kind of a tit for tat thing. Well, I'm going to keep track. Well, what did you do for me? No, I'm not going to do anything for you because, love freely gives of itself. And that isn't the truth about some people. And some people are all about wanting people to indulge them or wanting to get in a relationship with someone who will indulge them in whatever they want to be indulged in. If they have like the money and the status or whatever, they want someone who will emotionally indulge them. If they're someone who's kind of full of them, well, they can present a good facade about who they are emotionally. If someone else has the money and the status and the image, they would be willing to emotionally indulge them. Yeah, so that's why they can, if they get in a relationship where, it's this whole thing about, well, I think I have shadowy energy, a little more caught up in the world. I think I have these things of the world that people want. And therefore, I think people should indulge me. And if there's someone I want to be in a relationship with, and they seem to have more of those things, more worldly focus that I want, then I would indulge them. That's why when they're the one who has more, they think, well, then you should indulge me. The problem is if they want to get in a relationship with someone who's kind of also more worldly focused, because we generally like to hang out with people who are like ourselves. But, and if people are more motivated by the ego and image, they probably like to be in a relationship with other people who want to go out and talk about these things for everybody to know how wonderful their life is. And kind of like, look what a wonderful life. Look what we did. Look what we own. Look what we drive. Blah, blah, blah. They probably want to be in a relationship with other people who are motivated and inspired by that. Not by love. Not by truth and justice and fairness and authenticity. But it's always hard to find someone who's kind of on the same page as us. But if we get two people that aren't really motivated by love, and they're both kind of motivated by money and materialism or status or image, and they both kind of like think they're all that, and both kind of think they should be the center of attention, then we can really have a problem. Because if they think it's that one person has to concede where one person has to be indulged more, because high vibe energy is about equal give and take. But some people don't view life that way. Whoever has more of whatever that someone wants, I'm more attractive than you, I get privilege. You're not very emotionally, whatever, you want things I have, then you need to indulge me. I have the money, whatever. It doesn't matter what the thing is that people have. It's just whatever people find valuable. And the people who want to try to manipulate people because of it. Some of the shadowy people had loving people leave their life. And they also could have more materialistic people leave their life. Some people were just manipulating them. I would say other shadowy people were just manipulating them for their ego and image. Yeah, I'll get in a relationship with you for a while. It's good for my ego and my image. And the other people don't see through the illusion of it. And if that person is in their life, they're going to try to get someone else to indulge them if that's their thing. Or find someone else that they'll present themselves as a loving person to if that person has the things of the world that they want. And it's all about creating an illusion. And some people have been in a mismatched relationship, and some of those people have been doing this work within themselves. They were kind of in a mismatched relationship where one person was more about the ego and image, sure that these people were going to move forward with them, keep indulging them in this illusion. But what they didn't realize, just like other people that were in these kind of mismatched relationships, is that the other people do have hope and faith and belief and love, and they do want a more balanced relationship. And if those people do this work within themselves, to love themselves and believe in themselves, to get more balance within themselves, right now they might not, they're doing this work to harness these energies in a more high vibe way, to love themselves and believe in themselves and believe in their dreams. So they would be willing to stand up for what they believe in and detach from the illusion, either within themselves, how they view the world, or if they're in a relationship, they're doing this work, some of them, within themselves. Now, if you know the people who are the prideful, egotistical, self-centered, all about ego and image, probably not them. But there's other people in the world, just like you, who got in those mismatched relationships, who are also working to get out of them. And just like some of you are doing that now, and other people have already gotten out, and there's other people who already got out before, you know, there's just other people in the world that are kind of more on the same page. And some people are staying in them because either they're being the one being indulged, or they're willing to indulge someone else because they do have this more worldly view of life at this point in time. It's just the people who come up to the top row, it's like, I've went through all this within myself. I thought indulging in whatever I indulged in, or my way of viewing life, would make me happy, and it didn't. And life's all about getting clear about what your truth is. And then those people realize, you know, if I don't love and believe in myself, and if I'm not in relationships with other people who are more independent and have good boundaries and are emotionally loving people, what kind of life do I have? You know, it might have all these things, but it's emotionally confusing, and it's shallow, and it's superficial, and I'm emotionally confused. So I did this work within myself to love and believe in myself. I communicated and offered love to the people in my life. Do you want to move forward with me in this new way? And if they chose not and rejected love and equal give and take, and made the free will choice to keep moving forward the way they want to move forward, then it's like, I wish you peace. That's like the love cup. I wish you peace. If you want to keep being defensive and defending your more egoic nature and wearing a false mask and being more about the world, it's helped me be illuminated to the truth. And I wish you peace. But I want to work together to manifest my dreams with other people who see it's about love and justice and fairness and more than just the ego or the image or the indulgence or the codependency or the whatever. So what's coming up for some people who harness some high vibe Leo energy that they might not see coming up? That's too many. Just 2 or 3 is good. The 4 Swords, because of the Queen of Wands. So it's a process. And if some people were wondering, am I ever going to get to the place where I feel at peace and rest and balance within myself and healed? Yes. Why? Because of the Queen of Wands. Emotionally, you chose to align with loving and believing in yourself and listening to your intuition and not your fear and your insecurities, and focused on truth and love. And the 4 Swords is Libra energy, represented by the scales of justice. I think you're going to get the justice you deserve, and you will feel at peace and balance within yourself. And I think as time goes by, then, you know, the other thing that this is saying is that there's going to be other people that you know or meet in the world that are in that same energy, and they are going to see the truth that you are a balanced, healed, loving, warm person, and they want to also be in a relationship with you because they've also been in relationships with people who kind of are tipped a little bit out of balance, and they want to be in relationships with other balanced, healed people who see the truth. It's supposed to be about love, and high vibe Leo is about being in life-giving energy, loving, warm, encouraging, authentic, having grown and matured yourself, being independent, knowing that the truth is it's about love and expanding your perception of yourself and the world around you, because, we're just so limited by what we think is possible. And if we let love and intuition, God's trying to manifest new things and manifest things for us, but we can't keep taking action out of fear and insecurity and being mad that we're not manifesting our dreams. You need to temper your egoic nature and more indulgent nature, and I want what I want now. Do this inner work and heal. Stand up for yourself, believe in yourself, let love and intuition guide the decisions that you make, and you will, I think, have those stable and emotionally mature. The Queen of Pentacles can represent workplaces, friendships, and marriage relationships. What's coming up for the people who harness a more shadowy or worldly Leo energy that they might not see coming? The Hierophant, the Death card, the Justice card, because of the Five of Pentacles. When we keep moving forward, 2 cards of Taurus energy. High vibe Taurus is walking the talk and acting with character and integrity. And that's what some people did. Some people really walked the talk. And they were willing, in high vibe Scorpio energy, which is emotional water sign energy, which talks about our emotionally complex feelings that we can have for people. They were willing to emotionally detach from staying in workplaces and relationships with people that made them feel left out in the cold, could have been intimidating and controlling, and wanted to put an end to justice and fairness and truth and love, and wanted loving people to move forward with them in these relationships that by worldly standards might look great, but it's emotionally shallow and superficial, and it's not just and fair. And the shadowy, more worldly focused people are never willing to detach, or haven't been willing to detach from living their life like this. So they thought other people would give up on believing in themselves, believing in their dreams, that they'd feel left out in the cold and they'd come on back to do the relationship the way they wanted. And they're surprised. The Five of Pentacles comes after the Four of Pentacles, where we could have been holding on to a foundation, not wanting to let it go, holding on to a job, not wanting to let it go. But the high vibe people saw the truth. I can't keep moving forward in a situation that isn't aligned with my truth. Other people might think, oops, got an alarm on my phone. Other people might think this is the way they want to live their life, but it's not my truth. And they did put in the work and effort to emotionally detach. Some of you could have detached from a Libra or something that at one time you thought would be just and fair in order to get the justice you do deserve. And you're moving forward. And they could be shocked about that because, oh my gosh, we had all these things. How could you give all that up to become independent of it and stand up for yourself and love yourself enough to give all that up? Because they wouldn't be willing to walk away from those things and give it up. It's like, well, that's why I left. Because those things are more important to you than being more authentic and loving and vulnerable and looking at life from a different perspective. And I do look at life from a different perspective. Our Taurus can talk about our philosophy of life. Your philosophy of life is not to get your divine inheritance. You're willing to settle for the worldly dream. And I'm not willing to just settle for the worldly dream. I want my divine inheritance, which is to heal, to love and believe in myself, to be in loving, nurturing, warm, authentic, just, fair, balanced relationships. So they're shocked about that. Another thing they might not see coming is there might be someone who does want to come be in a relationship with them. And I think this person is coming in to try to destabilize them. Well, for one, if they're aligned with their more shadowy nature, their own shadowy nature, which is what this can represent, doesn't want them to get justice. Other people in their life that'll live their life like this don't want them to get their divine inheritance. I want you to live your life the way I live it. I want you to stay in a relationship with me. I want you to let me manipulate and control you, whether I'm your friend, a family member, or a romantic interest. This is how I want to live my life. I want you to be in a relationship with me and keep moving forward with me in this way where we don't get our divine inheritance. And some of them don't realize that some of the people that they're moving forward with right now that they think is going to be emotionally fulfilling, because other shadowy people don't want people to love and believe in themselves. It's kind of like, I want you to stay in codependent energy, so I'm going to do things to try to destabilize you, maybe control you, maybe be stubborn, maybe be prideful, maybe be egotistical, and I think these people are going to end up confused. Because again, it's hard for them to find someone who might be on just the same page as they are. To a degree, they might be happy living this more superficial, shallow life. There can be other people that want to live their life that way too. But if they're a little bit more like, well, again, someone maybe who's the more afraid of losing it person, that person would maybe be trying to destabilize the other person because you might look victorious and successful. And I don't want anyone else interfering with this relationship. I don't want you to think you have any options. You stay right here because I want all these things. And they might get in a relationship with someone who kind of does to them maybe what they tried to do to someone else. And then they'll have to decide, they really kind of wanted to move forward in a relationship with that person. But again, shadowy Scorpio maybe is kind of a much more emotionally, they got in a relationship with someone like themselves, not a loving person, not someone who's open to giving and receiving love. They could have gotten in a relationship with someone else who's defensive to being vulnerable and loving and didn't align with their more balanced nature. And they weren't aligned with their more balanced nature. So we're moving forward in relationships that are more emotionally shallow and superficial. But by worldly standards, it could look like they got everything they wanted. And now it's the shoes on the other foot. How do you like being in a relationship where you feel left out in the cold? Where somebody's maybe kind of full of themselves or bossy or controlling? Maybe they're the ones who have more status, image, money, or power. How do you like indulging someone in their thinking the scales should be tipped in their favor? And then it's kind of can be a wake-up call for some of those people to try to get them. It's like, really? Is this how you want to live your life? One person or the other has to indulge the other person kind of in their ego? How about justice and fairness and truth and love? But odds are they might move forward in it because that's the way they view life. That is their philosophy of life. Someone has to concede to the other. And if they're the ones who has to concede, they're willing to do it. If they can find someone else who's willing to concede to them, for them that could be like their dream life. And if that's what makes them happy, it's nothing to be proud of, that you kind of lord over someone. Well, because I have this and I have this, you need to be the one to enable me in my poor behavior. Yeah. But I guess if they can find someone willing to do it, then that's fine. It's just that some other people in their life weren't willing to do that. And those people are looking, and you could have made an offer to someone you think is more emotionally stable and grounded and healed and has good boundaries. Or as you're moving forward, someone is going to make you that offer. And for some of you, it could just be a new job opportunity. So there you go, Leo. I wish you peace, love, and joy. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.